There's a feeling that almost no one can explain, but when it shows up, it completely changes the way you see the world. It's that urge to just stop. Stop posting. Stop showing up. Stop explaining your life to people who never even asked. And the strange part is, it doesn't come from sadness, and it doesn't come from exhaustion. It comes from something quieter. It's like a part of you already knows that showing too much comes at a cost, but you can't quite explain what that cost is. If you've ever felt this, pay attention, because it says more about you than you think. There's a certain type of person who already understands this, even if they've never put it into words. They show up less, they say less than they could, they share less than they live, and still, they seem more complete than most people. Not because they have more, but because they need less. Like they carry something that everyone else is still trying to find, without really knowing where to look. The Stoics had a name for this hegemonikon, the center that governs your mind, the part of you that decides who you are regardless of who is watching, the part of you that doesn't need an audience to exist. And maybe, without even realizing it, you've already started protecting it. Marcus Aurelius ruled an entire empire and still chose to write only for himself. No audience, no validation. And even so, 2,000 years later, his words are still alive. Now think about that. How many people today speak to millions and leave nothing that truly lasts? So the question isn't really about social media. The question is, what do these people understand that most are still missing? There are 7 characteristics that explain it, and the first one already separates most people. But pay attention, because number 6 is the one that reveals who you really are, and almost no one notices it. Discreet people don't live reacting to the world around them. They don't wake up thinking about how they'll be perceived. They don't make decisions based on what will get the most approval. They don't live from the outside in. They live from the inside out. In psychology, this is called an internal locus of control. But in practice, it's something much simpler. It's knowing that the only thing that truly belongs to you is how you respond to what happens. Epictetus was born without external freedom and still built something much rarer, internal freedom. Because he understood something most people still don't. You can lose position, money, recognition, but if you don't lose the way you respond, you're still in control. And once you understand that, you don't need a stage. You're no longer trying to prove anything. If you've understood this so far, then you already think differently than most people. So subscribe to the channel, because this kind of content isn't made for people living on autopilot. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Most people understand this in theory, but very few actually live it. And that happens because living this way requires something most people avoid: internal consistency. It's not about knowing what's right. It's about acting according to it, even when no one is watching. And that's exactly where the second characteristic comes in. Discreet people don't isolate themselves. They select. They understand that access is something that needs to be earned, not automatically given. Because when everyone has access to you, you slowly start losing track of what is truly yours. And this happens quietly. You share something here, something there, and before you notice, important parts of your life no longer belong only to you. Seneca once advised something simple: retreat into yourself whenever possible. Not as an escape, but as protection. Because when you don't define your boundaries, the world defines them for you. And it almost always takes more than it should. Most people only realize this after they've already shared too much. And the third is where most people start losing themselves without even noticing. Social media has turned life into an endless display. You're no longer comparing yourself to one person, you're comparing yourself to hundreds every single day, and not to their real lives, but to carefully selected, edited versions of them. It's an unfair comparison from the start. And still, most people play this game as if it's possible to win. But it's not, because there will always be someone who seems better, happier, more advanced, even if it isn't real. So, here's a question. How many things have you posted that were never really meant to be seen? How many experiences have you lived thinking more about how they would look than how they actually felt? The people who post less simply step out of that system. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that everything we see is a perspective. But most people forget that every single day, and they pay the price in the form of constant comparison and quiet dissatisfaction. And here's something almost no one notices. Feeling doesn't need to become a performance, but today, almost everything has. People don't just feel emotions anymore, they perform them. Anger becomes a message, sadness becomes a post, happiness becomes validation. And in the middle of all that, the real experience gets lost. There is a space between what you feel and what you do with it. It's small, but that's exactly where freedom lives. The Stoics called this apatheia, not the absence of emotion, but control over it. It's the ability to feel deeply without needing to display it constantly, because not everything needs to be shared, and not everything needs to be understood by others to be real. If you still feel the need to show everything, maybe you're still trying to prove something you don't fully believe yourself. When you stop living to show, something interesting happens. You start living for real. Simple things become more intense. A conversation without your phone feels deeper. A quiet moment stops feeling uncomfortable. Even time feels different. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself to stay in the present. It sounds simple, but it's extremely rare. Because most people are always divided between what just happened and what they're going to post next. And when you live like that, you're never fully where you are. And little by little, that drains the experience of life itself. And that leads to something even rarer. Most people are exhausted trying to control how they're perceived. Their image, their appearance, their impression, everything becomes calculated, everything filtered, everything adjusted to fit expectations. But here's the uncomfortable truth. People who need to be remembered all the time probably never built something truly unforgettable. Discreet people simply step out of that. They don't abandon who they are, they abandon the need for constant approval. Epictetus said that no one can harm you without your permission, not the people who ignore you, not the ones who don't validate you, not even the ones who forget you. Because once you stop depending on that, you become free in a way most people never experience. And the last one is the most underestimated of all. Discreet people don't collect attention, they build connection. They trade reach for depth. Because in the end, it's not about how many people see you, it's about how many truly know you. One real friend is worth more than 1,000 spectators. Seneca said this centuries ago, and psychology only confirmed it later. Because real connection isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in presence, trust, and truth. Now think about this. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, those who choose not to show themselves automatically become rare. And what is rare draws attention without asking for it. Being discreet is not weakness, it's control, it's choice, it's quiet strength. And maybe what you felt at the beginning of this video wasn't the urge to disappear. Maybe it was the urge to return to yourself. If this video helped you see something you couldn't explain before, subscribe to the channel because this is exactly the kind of idea you'll find here. And send this to someone who needs to hear it. Because in the end, strong people don't disappear. They just stop asking to be seen. And most people never understand that in time.